Hey guys, Night Ops here, and we are back with some more Hoi4, where we are playing the Old World Blues mod. So I haven't replied to all the new comments from yesterday's episode, but I do kind of have an idea of kind of how the vote went. So a lot of you guys are saying that I should do the Civil War from the top down. I was kind of leaning towards that, but one of you guys did give kind of a nice idea. Um, could do the Civil War with Caesar, and then go north while he's fighting the Civil War, and then come down and fight whoever is left over. But another one of you guys made a good point. This is the only person that might actually give us a good fight at this point. So what I'm thinking is when the truce is over, if he doesn't declare war on us straight away, we just kind of like let him build up. I want the strongest Caesar's Legion that I can fight. Looking at the front, he does have like power armor and stuff now, which is great because that means we'll have to fight power armor and everything too. But like I said, while he's building up, we can keep building up. We can keep taking some of our other national focuses, like rebuilding the Area 51 stuff, things like that. Because I want to fight the strongest Caesar's Legion that I can. I want to see how that would go. So if he doesn't declare war on us straight away, we'll just kind of like let that ride and happen. I am seeing a weird thing though. I'm thinking it's something with the graphics. It's definitely with the power armor. It wasn't happening as much before, but as you can see, like if we zoom in to a certain point, it gets bad. But then once we go into a certain point, it isn't as bad anymore. And then certain areas it doesn't do it, and then certain areas it does do it. So it's like I don't know what graphic is doing that, but something's doing it. I'm also kind of dumb because when you guys did say Area 51, we do get Gauss weapons, and the Gauss weapons are actually right here. I never even realized that this image was of a Gauss rifle. It's like, oh, Jesus, okay, I could have Gauss guns for like a minute now. One of you guys are saying that could go secure Big Mountain because they actually made the God, what's it called? The stuff for Sierra Madre, the gas that's there. And I was like, I wonder if it would have given us like other options for the Sierra Madre, since they made it, if they would have given us other options for like, hey, we know what this is, sort of thing. We also have like New World tricks, Old World tricks to get rid of those guys who, keep pestering us. Because I'm thinking about doing that because I want to see if that will actually fix that or get rid of their raiding parties and stuff, since this is like, the dude that we're fighting with the raiding parties technically. There's so many things that I want to take, but we're gonna go Gauss guns first, just so we can get like some of the Gauss weapons actually making. I did go through and place a bunch of infrastructure based stuff around, so that we could try to get one, better infrastructure in a lot of areas, and two, more resources from a lot of areas instead of just building out foundries and stuff. The only thing though is they don't add like a lot of resources for some of these areas. I'm also gonna go 10 on Brahmin carts because once we go to war, this is gonna be what's our logistics. So it's like we're gonna need probably more than that because we might get a decent amount of those destroyed. I also didn't do CAS before, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of these since we have jet fighters, and we are gonna get some A10s out here. I just don't know. So this is an interdiction jet striker. So which one has better ground attack? So ground attack 23, ground attack 26. Okay. This was talking about interdiction. I didn't think it was going to be higher than the other one. So this is an actual jet bomber. So this is probably for more like strategic striking and stuff. Yeah. Got some cargo planes there. Because we made the jet fighter. One of you guys brought it up. You're like, hey, are you making jet fighters? And I was like, wait, am I? And so I started up the game and I was like, am I making jet fighters? I'm like, oh, okay, I am. I'm just not making CAS. Which is like I said, 26. Speed is 750 on these bad boys. But if we control the sky, we control the ground pretty much. Range is higher on the jet attack planes. I feel like once we get more into his territory, there's going to be less airfields probably. So I feel like the extra range from the normal one, even though we lose 3 ground attack, would be better. So we're going to go with these. And then let's throw... These are currently getting converted and upgraded, so we're currently changing out the ones in our field with these. We don't have any stocked up right now. So what I'm going to do is throw some more factories on these, and then we're going to go kind of hard into these. We need more composite materials, though, which that's only 8. Once our infrastructure gets built out in some of our areas, that should get us that 8 back easily. We still have so many mills. We just don't have the resources to keep up with the mills right now. That's the only thing. But we will once our infrastructure gets up there. Okay, I'm going Gauss weapons. That's right. Okay, let's unpause now. I say I'm moving some stuff around. Once we get some more PP, I can start declaring on some of these other guys around here. You are new. I will put you on... I do need some more defensive guys. Yeah, that black flickering is going to get kind of annoying at times, but it's just something I'm going to have to deal with for the time being. Oh, what is this? I fought the law. Under the blazing sun of the Mojave Desert is a pre-war prison, famously known in the NCR for causing all sorts of problems along the I-15. Oh, is this the prison where they, like, took over the prison and you can, like, go in there and, like, murk them all? Or, God, I can't remember what they're called. They had, like, all the dynamite and explosives constantly. In the beginning of New Vegas, pretty much. The New California Republic Correctional Facilities. Oh, I think it's where you can get the sheriff for the one town, too, for that one quest. The New California Republic Correctional Facility, or NCRCF, used to be known as the Conservancy? I don't know how to say that. A pre-war, low-security, all-female prison. Okay, wrong prison then. Due to the prison's proximity to the railroad lines and the interstate, the NCR commandeered it and moved convicts. Oh, maybe it is the same one. It's just it wasn't a all-female prison at the time the NCR was using it. Out west to serve in work release programs. The chain gangs cleared debris and maintained the highways and rail, but when guards were pulled away to patrol the Colorado, the prisoners revolted, they killed the guards, and used the prison as their own citadel. Okay, so this is the right... Yeah, this is that one. From which to raid the highways, the powder gangers. Oh, yep, the powder gangers. I couldn't remember their name, but I knew they used, like, dynamite and stuff and explosives. Wreaked havoc on the NCR supply lines right until we showed up and put the gang down. God, I remember coming here straight away out of the game to get, like, some decent early weapons, because you can kind of, like, pick them off and do some certain things, but the amount of explosives and mines you can get from these guys was always crazy. Something I used to always do when I wanted to get to New Vegas as quickly as possible is I would hit this area up, get all the mines and explosives I possibly could, go to the quarry, because I think it was the quarry that you had to get through, or like next to it, you can kind of sneak by sometimes, where all of the death claws were. Because I think they were blind death claws. I can't remember. And I would stack landmines and explosives early game, because I think a lot of the explosives didn't, like, they weren't like level locked, like how some guns you couldn't find until higher levels and stuff, or like areas, damage wise. And I would just stack it all there and then kill off maybe like 2 of the death claws and then be able to get to New Vegas as quickly as possible. And so now the prison has changed hands again. There's been a push in the government to reinstate the prison, considering how many criminals we've come to capture in the Mojave. But that brings us to an issue so far. Our government hasn't established any prisons. One of the reasons why I used to do that also was because of the gun runners that were there. Because they had that gun runner shop, and you can get some really good stuff really early in the game from them, that you couldn't really get anywhere else, like that easily, I'd say. Of course, people have committed crimes, and they've been arrested, and they've been put into prisons. However, the actual penitentiaries have been owned and or operated by either private institutions or local government bodies. These wasteland prisons tend to be improved in nature and vary in terms of both security and prisoners' living standards. By federalizing the prison system, it is hypothesized we can both ensure the utmost quality of the nation's prisons and direct a large and cheap labor source to the purpose of rebuilding our nation. but a small, outspoken group of behavioral scientists and historians in our ranks believe that industrializing our prison system would have disastrous long-term consequences. Look at our privatized prisons in the United States. Pre-war America had one of the largest prison populations, yeah, and I don't know how to say that word. Recidivism, rates in the world. Though this worked fine for our pre-war predecessors who tended to use the prison populations as guinea pigs in unethical experimentation, not wanting to see our nation revisit the mistakes of the old world. This advocacy group has proposed a daring, years-long plan to build a new correction system that seeks to one day abolish prisons altogether. Although much of their plans requires a highly idealistic post-scarcity society that may be out of the scope of reality for a nation dusting itself off from nuclear holocaust. So, I feel like prisons up to a certain point shouldn't house certain prisoners. Like theft and stuff or low-end felonies. I'm like, yeah, prisons, I feel like they could be a little bit more lenient, but murders, anything like that, anything that's very, very, very morally incomprehensible, I say that the prison is a very good place for those people. But then, you have a lot of these, like, what's what I'm looking for? Victimless crimes too. I know there's usually always a victim, but like a lot of times, there are a lot of victimless crimes out there. I feel like there's some that are like, shouldn't be going to prison for some of these. Because I feel like that's just gonna make the people who go even worse when they get out. Let's see. So fair makes the old brain real, doesn't it? So, Cuckoo's Nest, many of the worst criminals in the system fall into the category of mental unwellness. As long as we move the bar by diverting the criminally insane to asylums and mental facilities rather than prisons, combined with an emphasis on reform over punishment, is theorized we could drastically reduce prison populations. Yeah, God, I don't know how to say that word. And crime rates all at once. Why fix when ain't broken? We've let the local governments provide and private organizations run the prisons this long. Why stop now? There ain't no good chain gang. So what do these hippies know? You can't make a death claw omelet without breaking a few eggs. If folks want to do the crime, they could do the time, and they could do it while rebuilding the US of A. Adds a federal correction institution. Oh, it's a victory point to Good Springs. Oh, yeah. Unlocks the ability to build federal prisons across the wasteland. Bro, what? What? Can we see? That's a pre-war industrial facility. Okay, so we don't see any, like, we don't see a federal prison building here. Like, that's what I want to know. Like, what does that do? We could build federal prisons across the wasteland. For 1,461 days. I'll do this. So the mentally insane, we're shipping not to prisons, but to insane asylums. As long as we're not lobotomizing people. I feel like that was very, very morally incomprehensible to what we did to a lot of people. Even around I guess I'd say around the world, but I guess at the same time, if you look at the time that it happened, there wasn't a lot of medical knowledge in the world. So like a lot of people didn't really know what was gonna happen. But looking back, hindsight 2020 is always a very, very big thing. Oh God, okay. Truth of the Enclave. Since our takeover of the NCR, there have been a string of rumors, conspiracy theories, and fringe speculation of what exactly was the purpose of the Enclave. Ask any ghoul from before the war, and they will tell you of how the government was back then. So it begs to question as to what exactly the Enclave, a descendant of this pre-war police state, is trying to do. The hopeful and the somewhat naive claim the Enclave is here to restore democracy and American ideals. The cynical claim they were here to wipe out everyone they considered a mutant. Of course, only the highest and oldest echelons of the Enclave know the answer. And with Douglas Granite at the helm, that very answer is to be addressed. Some idealists have suggested we air out our dirty laundry about that time. President Richardson tried to kill all mutants, but really, why bother? Do Americans have the right to know, or is ignorance truly bliss? The truth will set us free. Oh my god. What's the worst that could happen? The Enclave was devoted to saving America. Oh my god, dude. Oh, I know a lot of you guys are telling me to take the truth will set us free because it does things down the line. But dude, that just looks horrible. Thank God we're at 100% war support and stability.
Good evening, America.
Oh god.
Tonight, I need to address something. Something that's been under the surface since the Enclave's return to America's shores. The conspiracy theories that Enclave soldiers committed murder. That rumors that the government was going to commit a global holocaust. The accusations of heinous experiments, kill teams, and massacres at the hands of Enclave agents. I'm here to dispel those rumors. To end these conspiracy theories. I'm here to tell you, it's real. All of it.
Oh, okay. I thought let's give you more. The truth hurts. Which the funny thing is, you could probably look at old Enclave and new Enclave. Like, you know, if we're telling this, because you got to think as a citizen, if the government came out and said this, like during this time, and was like, hey, this was all in the past. This is what previous administration did. This is what they stood for, but we don't stand for that. This is what we stand for, and we fought for these changes, and we won. And as you could see throughout our territories that we currently hold, the changes that we have upheld. You see it in your everyday lives. You see it all around you. Look next to you. Do you see a ghoul? Do you see a mutant living side by side? They aren't dead. They're not in a camp. They're here with you as American citizens. I don't know. I'd pull something like that during this. Like, you would have, I would say, a certain amount of people who would agree with you in that. Now, you would still have your conspiracy theorist people. You would still have some people that would doubt your words and maybe say stuff like, hey, this might just be a plan to get us all together, and thinking, hey, maybe they're controlling us. They'll murk us some other way, sort of stuff. But I'm like, at that point, I'd like, my thing to that is, why make it so hard? we like, why would we go through all this growing pain and trouble when we could have just gotten rid of you easier another way? But yeah, like, I don't know. As our citizens woke up on that fateful day, preparing for their daily routine, none expected what the day would have entailed. By nightfall, the whole country was in panic over the president's revelation. At approximately 10 in the morning, radio services everywhere were interrupted by a special broadcast from the president himself. The president calmly revealed the truth of the Enclave's crimes, methodically listing down all the atrocities of the Richardson administration. The list of crimes were so long that the broadcast was over just before noon. That's another thing, is I would explain how the government was under Richardson versus how it is now, because by this point we have like Congress, we have checks and balances and stuff like that. That's what I would explain that to the people and be like, hey, you know, this is the differences between our governments. We have mutants, ghouls, like all these other things, like races and stuff, in the government now, in government positions. Like, it would be much harder for us to do something like this with these people also at the helm of our government. It's not like, you know, we just have Enclave or pure humans at the helm hiding stuff away. But the most notable one was the use FEV Curling 13 to kill off 99.99% of the Wasteland. Shortly after the broadcast, all hell broke loose. The Declaration of Independence states that governments derive their powers from the consent of the governed. But what happens when the governed revokes their consent? People take to the streets protesting an illegitimate government. Panic sets in over the fear of FEV Curling 13 unleashed on the population. Stores were empty as panic buying set in. As people feared martial law, Californians in the army deserting their post, unwilling to fight for an illegitimate government. The Union of Shady Sands announcing a strike. For his part, Douglas Granite never expected the response to be this severe, but here we are now. For as the Constitution says, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. Jesus. The guns of Navarro, It has the NE in parentheses at the end. Or in quote, oh yeah, parentheses. I said quotes. I was like, wait, no, those aren't quotes. Jesus. Since its construction in the 1930s, Hoover Dam has been considered a potential target of foreign attack by the United States. During World War II, a pillbox was constructed on the Arizona side of the Colorado to protect the dam from either German or Japanese sabotage. In the 2020s, a ground-to-air missile battery was installed to protect the dam from hypothetical Soviet air attack. Finally, in the mid-2060s, those batteries were replaced by an anti-air flak gun installed by the United States Civil Defense. It was a computer-guided system. I was about to say, I was like, dude, if you're just setting up flat guns, like, just like straight up World War II flat guns in the 2060s, like, what are you doing? That makes sense. Computer-guided system, deemed much more capable and cost-effective than the older antique missile system, able to shoot down aircraft as well as intercept missiles and even bombs. The flak tower at Hoover Dam may well be one of the few reasons the dam still stands today. For over 200 years, the guns has set idle, pointed upwards towards the sky. When the NCR arrived at the dam, they had no need for an anti-aircraft system. The engineers assigned to repairing it were quickly pulled to refurbish the dam turbines when the efforts to overwrite the gun's protocols to allow for ranged fire capabilities proved unpromising. The most use the gun would see in the NCR's military was as a flagpole or shading troopers for the early morning sun. In time, the gun became an icon of the NCR's war for the Mojave against Caesar's Legion, being the subject of many photographs and propaganda art pieces. But now the gun, like the dam, is back in our hands, and while the NCR's engineers typically stumbled around in the dark, our engineers have the know-how and capabilities necessary to bring the gun back online. A diagnostics showed the computer system to be in good health, and the gun itself was restored from the damage it sustained after 200 years of neglect and war. Interestingly, before the restoration could be commenced, EOD teams had to be called in to remove and dispose of live shells still loaded in the gun, likely dating back to the Great War. Why the NCR left a volatile round of heavy ordnance in such a highly trafficked area is anyone's guess at this point, but some believe it speaks to their military's incompetence. Regardless, the gun has been restored with all of its pre-war capabilities and more. Our engineers were able to recode the gun's computers to allow more freedom to its gun crew in choosing targets. This means that not only is the gun capable of being used as a ranged artillery piece, but it would be even capable of direct fire, with our gun crews are all too eager to test for themselves. To tell you the truth, I didn't think we could do it. I feel that. I feel that 100%. I didn't think we could do it. I want to look at what nations are like heavy into creatures. I do want to do like a heavy creature playthrough, but I also want to do a heavy robot playthrough. Which a lot of you guys were saying like New Vegas and stuff, because I think a New Vegas playthrough would be really cool also. I do want to do a Raven Rock playthrough at some point, and I kind of want to continue the Raven Rock playthrough after this as more, I guess, of like a, I don't know, I guess the Raven Rock one would be more of a purist Enclave. I'm not 100% sure on how the Enclave would play there, and I feel like it would play harder, because I feel like you'd have more wars and less going on than the Western Enclave, where we were able to like pretty much sack a lot of stuff around us. I also want to see if the God, there's a mod, I think it's Expert AI or any of the other AI mods work for Old World Blues, because I would love to see better templates for the AI to make like fighting them harder. Because I honestly thought taking challenging would be a little bit harder. That's one of the reasons why in the beginning of the game I was a little bit more hesitant on a lot of the fighting, because I hadn't played this like any kind of playthrough before this. I did like a test game where I fought some of the people around us. Oh, Ghost in the Villa. Oh, is this the... Okay, I think this is that. Yeah. The Sierra Madre. Ghost in the Villa. A pitched firefight erupted in the streets of the villa as the expedition engaged with an endless onslaught of what we thought were crazed, demented tribals. After capturing one alive, our troops managed to tear the suit off along with its wearer's head. Oh god. To reveal not a man, but a mutant, one the likes of which we've never seen before. This would explain why they managed to get up after taking dozens of laser to the face. Only disintegration or dismemberment seems to actually put them down. After learning this, our troops... I remember there was a perk I think you could take where you had a higher chance of hitting a critical strike on limbs and the head and blowing them off. Because I remember one of the things I did before, I think there was a perk for that. There was something for that. I can't remember, maybe it was a gun, or it's been so long. But I remember taking it. No, I think it was a perk because you couldn't bring your guns into here. And that making this the Sierra Madre stuff so much easier. Because I was just constantly like blowing off heads with bats and stuff. After learning this, our troops forewent their issued weapons and began using the cryogenic equipment to freeze large groups of them, then shattered them with well-placed punches and kicks. This gave us an advantage for a time, and we've managed to establish a forward command post in the former police station. Oh, the police station is where you find the mutant, right? The super mutant? And he actually helps a lot. Once you get him, the game becomes so much easier. That DLC becomes so much easier. I think it was a super mutant. Curiously, we found evidence of, super mutant in the station. But they're nowhere to be found. Operations to clear the villa will continue through the week. An interesting note, our troops have begun collecting Sierra Madre tokens as a sort of keepsake for their adventures, with some trying to collect as many as possible. They're just feral mutants. We've handled feral mutants before. I don't care if they get back up after shooting them. Shoot them again. This is too much. Get me the Air Force. Firebomb the whole thing. Now, we're gonna keep going. Once we finish the Gauss weapons, we're gonna go with the Big Mountain, because one of you guys did say something about the Big Mountain was the one that created this stuff there. Oh god, okay. Oh Jesus, okay. Oh. Okay, so Black Mountain was first. We're gonna read Black Mountain first. Black Mountain, the neighbor base to the far more secretive Hidden Valley Air Force Base. Black Mountain was a satellite and communication array, as well as a monitoring station focused on China's satellite network. The base, utilized by both the Army and the Air Force, was also used to protect Hidden Valley during the Great War by employing its electric countermeasures. Although several bombs did go off nearby, it would be impossible to tell whether their target was Black Mountain or its much more valuable neighbor. Regardless of their intended target, radiation doesn't discriminate. The peak of the Black Mountain was still doused in rads when we arrived. This would explain why it reportedly remained abandoned for as long as it was, and why it was eventually settled by the super mutants. But now, the facility is back in our hands. After the site was scrubbed for fallout, we were able to get the array back online. Surprisingly, the radio equipment was still very well kept, though it appears it had to go through a series of repairs to get it to the state we found it in. And although the Great War is long over, we could still use the satellite monitoring capabilities to find out which satellites are still up in orbit. Although, we won't have we won't have to search very hard to find bomb station 002. In more pragmatic uses, We will also be able to use the facility to intercept radio transmissions from across the Colorado. All that's needed now is its name. The base should go to the Brotherhood, so changes the name of Black Mountain to Air Base Outpost Black Mountain. Let's get the Joint Base Black Mountain, so changes the name Black Mountain to Joint Base Black Mountain. Hey, at least it's not Utobitha. Name will remain the same. I like Joint Base Black Mountain. I like that a lot. Hidden Valley. The Air Force decided in the build-up to the Great War to build a number of command and control bunkers to be used by high-ranking officials in the event of a crisis situation. One such bunker was built in southern Nevada in the middle of the Micolo Range, and we were able to reclaim it. Built into the Hidden Valley Basin, the bunker was furnished with every facility necessary to its continued operation in a catastrophe event. Though the interface employed at the Hidden Valley, which included its Dervish camouflage system and countermeasures from Black Mountain and Las Vegas, may have saved it from direct nuclear strikes, the base was eventually abandoned for reasons unknown to us. Much of the base fell into disrepair after this, and sections of the bunkers collapsed. Fortunately, the Mojave chapter brought portions of the base back online over the last few years and have been dutifully maintaining it, though they did nearly push the air filtration system to its brink by running the Dervish countermeasures every single night. Fortunate we came along when we did. However, while they did much to keep the base running, they had nowhere near the time, manpower, resources, or even inclination that we had to bring the Hidden Valley back to its full capacity. Much of it has been excavated, restored, and refurbished, and we can now fill it with new workshops and facilities as we see fit, after a name has been chosen, of course. So Hidden Valley Air Force Base, as it should be. We are our friends, the Brotherhood, this much. So change the name Hidden Valley to AB Bunker Hidden Valley. It's supposed to be Hidden Valley, not glaringly obvious Valley. Name will remain the same. Let's do, we'll give this one to the Brotherhood. We'll name that one after the Brotherhood. California Ghouls. California always had a significant ghoul population, mostly concentrated in the necropolis and Dayglow. As news of the president's revelations spread across the country, the ghoul community responds. In contrast to the panic among their smooth-skinned peers, the ghouls have been remarkably calm. Yeah, because they know. They see the difference in the worlds from then and now. Probably because they have been here before. When we first rolled into California, the ghouls expected to be unceremoniously put down. Instead, they found their rights enshrined into the Constitution. Even better, townships are now banned from pooling a vault city and expelling their ghouls over arbitrary reasons. Therefore, it is no surprise they were willing to give us a chance. Guess our good karma's paying off. Yeah, so this is, yeah. See, the ghouls see the differences of the world, of what we have done for their people. Oh god, we're actually getting a good amount of CAS up for these. That's actually really nice. Our missile launch. Do we need a lot of missile launchers? Okay, let's our efficiency will go up after a while, but let's build up a bunch more missile launchers. Oh, these have already swapped out for the ones that we had too. And our support equipment's been stacked like crazy, so we're good on that. Ranger Station Echo. Overlooking the banks of the Colorado, Ranger Station Echo was a small place with a big task, monitoring Legion troop movements. Nestled in the southern portion of the El Dorado Mountains, the station overlooked the strategically vital locations of Nelson and Cottonwood Cove. Although the station was too small and too far west to effectively guard the river, the station as an observation post was determined to be far more valuable by the NCR. While most other ranger stations throughout the Mojave have been scrapped due to their improvised nature, Echo's location was determined to be just as strategically important to us as it was to the NCR. And with the ghouls gone, we have since removed and safely disposed of the radioactive contaminants in order to impress the station into our service. The Marine Corps stepped up expressing their willingness to establish the outpost as an air station, with a site picked out for air facilities slightly north intended for better protection or protect Nelson. Ranger Station has a certain ring to it. Let the Marines have their fun. It certainly helped their chances that no other branch wanted the station. Change the name Ranger Station Echo to MCAS Echo. Yeah. Marine Corps Air Station Echo. I like that. We're going to go with that. Oh my god. Okay, we actually have some PP now. So good work. We have an outpost built there. Do we have anything that we can really spend money on? Let's establish another outpost. Let's repair another turbine in Hoover Dam. How much money do we have right now? Oh, we have a lot of money. Okay. Everyone gets stimulus. Do we have any of these that give us PP now? Ooh, wait. Yeah, expand slipways. Let's get some more stuff for that. Let's do this, get some more trade income. Yes, okay, the PP one is back. Let's go. More PP for money. The Legion marches in 14 days. I'm wondering who they're going to go to war against next. So it's fine. Let's power all of the current power grids we have up. And let's do... Okay, so these are all still going. We might not... We're probably not going to read all these, because all this is talking about these different bases. And a lot of them are honestly the same. Let's capture... yeah, let's capture one of the agents. I need to spend the 50 on that. Instead of spending it on... Ooh, we could curb elite influence there. On fighting a war here. Okay, let's unpause. Yeah. Legion raiding party. How long do we have left on this? 23 out of 30 days. Okay, we have 7 days left. Dang, we actually spent a lot of money. Cleaning the villa. We've managed to push... This is actually going on much quicker than I thought it would be. We managed to push into Puesta del Sol and Salida del Sol. The ghost people attacks becoming more frequent and desperate all the way. This has combined with the narrow streets preventing precision vertibird strikes, has made securing the villa all the more challenging. After action reports all seem to indicate the ghosts people are emerging from under the city, likely from sewers and maintenance shafts. Thus, the commander of the expedition has devised a plan to blow a hole in the city's central fountain in the villa. Oh god, that sounds like a bunch of them are going to rush out. Opening a massive, cavern from which a prepared defense could be used to annihilate the swarm of ghost people theorized to be down there. Before venturing in guns a-blazing to eradicate the rest, it's a risky gamble, but it might work. Find the root of these monsters. I'm having second thoughts about this place. Find the roots of these monsters. Oh, we finished the scavenging the NCR ports. Scavenging the Bear Fleet. As small as it was, the NCR Navy, did, at best, try and operate a series of ocean-going vessels, though often they amounted to be repurposed fishing vessels or small-time ravine patrol craft. Sadly, most of the NCR Navy went down via airstrikes or were scuttled. However, Navy officers have found a few vessels that are seaworthy. Several were scuttled in San Diego and have been refloated and commissioned as naval vessels, given special auxiliary hull codes until the Navy can get its production in gear. Likewise, the Navy has finished construction of several former NCR vessels in dry dock that were captured in Sac City and fitted them out for combat, matching the hull codes from the ships in San Diego. While this auxiliary force is a stopgap for now, the Navy is asking for more production to be focused on rebuilding up the fleet. Well, it's a start. 2 fleets of ships are prepared at Sac City and Dayglow. Okay, that's actually nice, because what I can do then, since we're getting more ships through that, we are going to set up these guys, or at least, we're going to set up these guys to be in Bitter Springs also. That way I can get a fleet on this upper Colorado River. So I need Dayglow, or not Dayglow, Bitter Springs. Okay, so Bitter Springs, and then you're also going to be Bitter Springs. I feel like we have enough ships on the outside now to where we don't need to be making more ships on the inside. Oh, yeah, for sure. She's on the inside. This is on the outside. Let me make sure these are actually the ones I thought they were. Okay, yeah, they are. God, do we actually have a navy? Now, given a lot of these ships possibly need to be refitted, because I doubt these are... Never mind. These are my ships templates. Oh, that's actually really nice. Ah, I wish I did these guys then better. Ah, because I could have got some free, actually good ships. Well, at least the medium ships are actually good ships that they're giving us. Oh, fui. Oh, these are heavy barges. I didn't design these either. Yeah, these are all tier 1s. Ah, dude, that would have been great. Ah. So note to self, if I ever do this playthrough again in the future, or even of just like purists or anything like that, set up all of your ship designs before taking the, doing like the NCR Navy stuff there. Okay, so we have one medium ship currently in Bitter Springs up there. Ah, wait, no, she's not here. Crap, she's below it, not above it. But wait, then how can that ship get there is the question. Or can it not? Okay, it doesn't look like it can. Because you are actually going to be the first ship that's going to be patrolling this water here, because that's something I want to check to see if that's actually the case. Rear Admiral Sean Oshu? Ooh, you actually have really good positioning and stuff, too. Decent fleet coordination, not, like, really good. You two are both pretty much the same in naval defense and naval attack. I just don't like War Hero on him, but the chance to receive critical hits is also really nice. Oh, they both have the same. 5-7, 5-7. Oh, that's the same metal. What am I saying? Yeah, they're both Pacific Admirals. Oh, he has 2 of these. Oh, yeah, he's also an Hawaiian volunteer. Okay, yeah, you're definitely going to be using this fleet. We're going to start patrolling this river here because I'm wanting to also see if that's actually the case. Oh, what is this? Oh, is this the vault thing with the plants? Is that what this is? Because I see it eats radiation. Yeah. A research into Bulvera Mordicana revealed some interesting insights. While it is a deadly and horrible fungus that should be purged from the records, it did have one quality. The damn thing eats radiation. Sort of. The vault contained far less radiation than was normally expected of a dilapidated vault. What's more, the plants growing around the vault, they seem to be unaffected by radiation from the surrounding countryside. After close study, the fungi was observed performing radiosynthesis, metabolizing the ionized radiation, effectively eating it, and even shielding the rest of the vault. It will take our biologists some time to transfer this ability to a safer, non-mutating form of fungus, but this breakthrough could lead us to cleaning up the various radiation pockets that dot the wasteland, even eradicating rad storms that still plague the landscape. Oh, that is awesome. There's more. That Ghoul scientist, aside being a bit rough around the edges at first, has gotten on well with our team and has shared some of her insights into the plants at Vault 22. She tested and perfected a food additive that acts as a mild stimulant in humans, and it's completely harmless. Seems we were even able to salvage the food problem with the vault as well. Well, that's a nice development. So add Vault 22 Legacy, which grants 3% monthly population and 15% infrastructure construction speed. That is crazy because we are currently building a lot of infrastructure once we finish out a lot of these. Okay, we actually have a lot more of these than I thought too. Let me do infrastructure first then and some repairs on these. That's a lot of coring that I didn't realize we had a lot of going on. Especially with the added bonus now of the 15% infrastructure build speed, that we should blow through those really quickly. Do we have any bonuses that we could spend for infrastructure speed? Plus 30% infrastructure construction speed. It'll cost me 50. We need one more. I'm gonna hold off on that because I do need my PP. That's just normal construction speed. Oh god, okay, here we go. Heart of the Swarm. The detonation worked and created a massive opening into the depths of the ghost people's supposed hive. For a few moments, it was eerily quiet. Then our troops heard the howling of the swarm, and hundreds of the creatures came scrambling out. The prepared defensive position was nearly overrun with the ghost people clambering over dead bodies and ash piles or rising from where they collapsed. It was through the timely intervention of vertebrate strikes that saved the position, and our troops advanced into the dungeon below. Laser rifles could be heard from the surface, and the team's commander is requesting cryogenic support due to the copious amounts of clouds that's down there. That's another thing. I think if you hit a crit also with laser weapons, it would turn them to like goo or like dust. So that was also something if you took like a high-end crit stuff. Oh, the Tesla cannon. I might change out the miniguns for these, but I think I did go like hard attack on these. Which you could make both, and I wonder if they'll take a mix. Because I'm not sure if they'll take a mix of them. Area 27. Jasper Labs. Jasper was a brilliant experiment using a 2-stage high-energy shotgun to achieve shock pressures, temperatures, and strain rates similar to those attained in a nuclear weapon. The tests continued well into the 2060s before shutdown to allocate funding to the pre-war effort. It was these tests that allowed Vault Tech to create the vaults and to assure the rig was capable of surviving a nuclear explosion. These tests ensured America's survival, something their scientists and engineers probably didn't think about. However, our scientists and engineers have noted that the last series of tests used mass driver technology, which they think can be miniaturized given enough time, allowing us to hopefully in the future recreate our las Gauss rifles. So will anything come of this? Increase research speed by 5%. Oh, so I wonder if Area 6 is what gives us the Gauss laser rifles then. I'm going to finish Big Mountain next. I was hoping that would give us that before this ended, but it didn't. Oh my god, okay. Oh, hey, it's that guy. The ghoul guy. Oh, yeah, we captured the Frumatari agent. Frumatari, yeah. Come in. This is Snowbird. Come in. Repeated the Frumatari on the radio. He was trying to relay Enclave troop movements, but his handlers were not picking up. Again, he tried to report out, watching as the clock ticked away as his window of reporting closing as he repeated his call outs. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call from spam. Jesus. For an answer, he suddenly got a response. Snowbird, if I were you, turn around. The Frumatari looked at the radio confused, not recognizing the voice. Before he could respond, he felt a blunt object hitting the back of his head, and he collapsed to the ground. Douglas Granite later found this report of capture quite amusing. He failed his mission successfully. We found a survivor. Pushing into the residential district, we began standard building clearing procedures, hampered only by the prevalence of that damned cloud during the operations, although our troops were surprised. Because, yeah, I think there were just, like, different clouds in different areas in this area. Like, it wasn't, like, mass everywhere. They were just, like, clouds, like, here, cloud there of it. And you had to, like, try to get across it. To come across a survivor, an intelligent ghoul by the name of Dean Domino, the famous pre-war singer. While we're surprised he survived this long, he's just as surprised the U.S. government still exists. He sweet-talked our troops into not shooting him, but he remains trapped in his room. According to him, he was working alongside a courier, who was making their way through the Sierra Madre after a series of events. It's funny because that Courier 6 joined us. Like, we have the Courier with us already. Like, yeah, that's funny. So wait, wouldn't it have blown up by now then? We find hard to believe. He was ready to return to the world, but stopped by his old room to collect a few things. However, one of the ghost people, as he calls them, got the better of him, and in the ensuing scuffle, he broke his leg. He's been healing ever since, and when he heard us approaching, he decided to lay low for a little longer until the shooting stopped. He informed the commander he'd come out in exchange for medical assistance. A pre-war singer, what a treat. It's a ghoul, I don't care if it could sing. Gets a vent, another survivor. A pre-war singer, what a treat. It's amazing that ghoulification didn't destroy his vocal cords. Gets event another survivor. So is it saying we should shoot the ghoul? But I don't get it. Like, okay. I guess what a treat. Accusations in Congress. The recent revelations have not only stirred our people but also our Congress. While everyone is in agreement over the validity of the war crimes, they are in disagreement over just how high the orders originated and how to respond to the situation. The ex-purist reformers pushed back against the president, claiming the Enclave's war crimes were the responsibility of an extremist clique rather than President Richardson himself. Many of them still respect President Richardson, and do not take slandering their martyr's name lightly. The more dedicated reformers, on the other hand, demand a full inquiry into the crimes of the Enclave and to compensate the victims and punish those responsible. The former NCR politicians, those that did not boycott Congress anyway, remained silent during the debates. However, one of them spoke up. Allgood Murphy, a former NCR politician from the Boneyard, has suggested forming a truth commission to investigate the crimes, just like the Navarro Commission had a hand in. He reasons that by forming an official body tasked with discovering and revealing past wrongdoings of the government, it should show the people we take this matter seriously. Furthermore, the commission can come up with measures to help reconcile with our citizens. Granite Hayes supported Allgood's motion, and soon support spread across Congress. While some ex-peers refused to vote for it, the motion was passed. Democracy in action. So, gets event meeting Bill Calhoun. Okay. How long? Oh, God. Oh, so another survivor pops anyway. It just doesn't say that it pops when you do that one. How long do we have until the truce is over with them? September 3rd. So June, July, August. Okay, so we have a few more months. I think it's up 4 months. I think we have 3 months. Another survivor. With no end to the ghost people in sight and the constant threat of cloud, progress has been somewhat slow. The expedition attempt to secure the Villa Clinic, which is supposed to be home to a series of advanced auto docks, making it a prime location for a forward aid station. However, when our forces arrived, they were pinned down by a highly accurate sniper fire. Is this the, Wait, no. Because I think the chick was stuck in the auto dock, right? And had her, like, vocal cords and stuff, like, ripped out by the auto dock and everything. She was, like, all kind of, like, stitched up everywhere. I do believe. But I can't remember if she was a sniper. This was not an act of a ghost people. This was someone who knew how to handle soldiers in power armor. After an agonizing few hours dueling with some of the expedition's best sharpshooters and copious use of the auto dock, we pinned down the assailant in their hideout. An assault team is stationed by to storm the building, but the squad leader recognized the sigil outside of the place as the wings, gears, and sword of the Brotherhood and passed it up the chain of command. Send in a representative from the Brotherhood. Just another Brotherhood terrorist. Send in a representative of the Brotherhood. Oh my god. You know what? I'm going to do this real quick. Let me pause and reload. Because I'm wondering if maybe that could... Because we haven't had that many issues with that flickering this bad. I'll be right back. I'm going to pause it while I do this. Okay, we're back. And I fixed it. No more issue. I'm not sure if it was because I turned on VSync for the game. Or if, because I usually always have VSync off for like any game I play, but I turned VSync off, but then I also went and updated my NVIDIA app. I didn't update the drivers, I updated the NVIDIA app because I already had the newest drivers installed, so I don't know if the NVIDIA app itself could cause an issue, because I don't know if it installs something like a driver, like a graphics driver, I'm not sure. But I know I did install the newest version of the app itself, but I think it was the VSync because it made me restart my game. I reloaded in, and now there's no issues. Because I tested trying to change out the models and stuff. And none of that fixed it. But it looks like VSync did fix it. And how I did that, I just went to game settings, video, and then I turned on VSync here. Like, that was the only thing that I changed from me doing that and restarting the game. Because I tried reloading it and restarting it already. It didn't fix the flashing issues, but then like I said, I think VSync fixed it. So that is great. That's awesome. Legion raiding party spotted. Yep. Oh, a cursed shelter. Cleaning crews and a few archaeologists have entered behind our troops to sift through the wreckage and clean the frozen cloud residue. A few sets of notes were discovered, written by humans the ghost people used to be. Preserved through time by the cloud, we've discovered to our horror that the ghost people are the mutated remains of the resort's reconstruction crew, staff, and police. Many of them cursed Sinclair, the owner and proprietor, while others expressed the terror of their transformation. A few others, probably medical staff, documented the progress of their mutation. Tragically, aside, the opening has effectively created a second front in our cleansing of the Sierra Madre, with surface forces pushing into the villa and a third team being prepped to assault the resort casino itself. Compared to the vaults, they got off easy. Oh, it's nice that there's no flashing now. The Legion marches. They're going after the reservation. Oh. God, that almost makes me want to, like, restart so the flashing wasn't there throughout the first part of the video. But I'm already an hour in. Meeting Bill Calhoun. Okay. So, 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. Yeah. 600 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. 200 years ago, we knew communism was evil. 15 minutes ago, we knew the Enclave was only here to help. Just imagine what we're going to find out tomorrow. Bill Calhoun. With the creation of a Truth Commission, we faced several new challenges. The commission must be unbiased as possible to give a valid judgment. Also, to maintain an aura of legitimacy, we cannot have it under our government control. We need to find a chairperson who will uphold these ideals. So far, one person fits the criteria perfectly. Bill Calhoun is known as a man of strong moral character, even within the followers of the apocalypse. Ashamed over his role in co-founding Caesar's Legion, he lives a quiet, secluded life doing good deeds, perhaps to atone for his past. Now we need to convince him to lead the commission. All good requested to personally meet Calhoun. No one knows what they discussed, but when both of them emerged, Calhoun agreed to lead the commission. Welcome aboard, Bill Calhoun. So, gets event, Bill Calhoun followers inquiry. Okay. So that man co-founded the Legion. Marcus's speech. While California is in chaos as the president's words on the Enclave crimes echo across the land, the super mutants of California react. It is no secret that super mutants have long been discriminated against by their human peers. Even when Tandy signed a law prohibiting discrimination, the law was barely enforced, in part due to corruption and in part due to the poor bureaucratic administration. But ever since the American Restoration, their rights have dramatically improved. Now they can walk into a restaurant without getting refused, have better access to housing and employment opportunities. One of them, a community organizer named Marcus, gave a speech. These new governments, they think I cannot read this in a super mutant like way, so I'm just gonna read this as if this super mutant can speak perfect English. Well, I can't even speak perfect English, so there's that too. I've got all the answers. Blah blah. Been there, seen that. Got the scars, but this one is different. One that is willing to protect the rights of super mutants, even to their own detriment. To be honest, I feel safer with them than I do in Vault City. Hell, even Vault City has been banned from discriminating against me. If these guys wanted us dead, we won't be having this discussion right now. I was in California during the dark days of the Enclave. I know what they are like, and my gut tells me this is not the Enclave of old. Let me tell you a story of my way to Jacobstown. I passed the divide There, I met an interesting fellow. We talked long over various topics, but one thing he told me resonates to this day. People can change by the paths they walk. Perhaps we should give the new guys a change to or as opposed to be a chance to prove themselves, but this is a change to prove themselves. It's super mutant way, true super mutant fashion. We're already back up to 100 on both our stability and war support, funny enough. Okay, we gained another 10%. So actually, where is the divide? Did we already take over the divide? I think we did already take over the divide, yeah. I think this will tell me. Never mind, I don't think it will. Okay, never mind. They actually moved a lot of their troops off of our border in some of these areas. Okay. Naval crew unsuccessful. Our anti-pirate task force is returning to port after failing to find any trace of pirates on the high seas. A mixture of rough seas, bad weather, and probably the size of the force likely contributed to the failure of the operation. At the very least, or I guess maybe our presence was noted by several passing merchantmen who shadowed our fleet for some time after being identified, likely enjoying the security provided by America's heavy guns. The patrol is returning to port for the captured pirates to be tried in a court of law, as well as refit, repair, and restock, whilst Navy planners will be going over conduct of the force to augment and adjust future operations. Damn, they got away. She stocks at Shan Joaquin, the Army Depot meant to stock the distribute arms and ammunition for Marine soldiers in the lead up to the Sino-American War. This never came to fruition, and much of the base's stock were sent north to Alaska. However, with the creation of San Joaquin, Atuedi, the depot gained a new sense of life, or new lease on life, as its location next to the water meant that armies could be loaded into boats from a secure and controlled facility and rapidly shipped to the Chinese theater across the Pacific. Post-war, the Shi raided it for arms ammunition, turning the depot into their primary arms manufacturing plant outside the city. Back under our control, it is once again delivering weapons and ammo to needy American soldiers. Good to hear. Reduces. Okay, so that's just one of the things that we did. Calhoun Commission follower inquiry. Oh, hey, it's the followers camp. Because I remember you could do quests for... Is it the female doctor that's there? I can't remember. The female scientist. The followers are renowned for their impartiality. It is no surprise. I kind of want to replay New Vegas now after playing this a lot. And seeing, like, all these old images and, like, talking about, like, a lot of the old New Vegas stuff. It's been, like, giving me... I have not played New Vegas in... God, probably 8 to 10 years now. I might have gone back to it every now and then looking at mods. But I can't remember. God, if I ever do go back, though, I'm definitely going to be using one of the more... I like the realistic mods. Like the realistic damage mods. I played a lot of that. I used a lot of that in like Fallout 4 and everything. I find it a lot more fun when you could be one shot in the head or you can one shot an enemy in the head, depending on the caliber of your gun. Always found that super, super fun. And harder. Have proposed getting up an observer body composed of government officials as oversight. While observers are prohibited from directly interfering with the commission, that does not mean they cannot use more subtle means of influence. After all, isn't it good to forge new friendships outside working hours? Alternatively, we could trust the followers to do a good job themselves. They do have a good track record after all. But didn't we, like, push out the followers in the apocalypse? And, like, make them not really like us? Evidence systems note. With the commission underway, we now have a choice. Should we let them work unimpeded? While that seems to be an obvious choice, it is likely they will come to a conclusion that does not benefit us. Alternatively, we could attempt to subtly steer the commission down a path that favors us. After all, a result that absolves us from guilt will benefit us greatly. We'll have 3, including this one, opportunities to allow or hinder the commission to do their work. Our choices will have consequences. What's a little drink between friends? I'm just going to let them do their job. We're not the Enclave of old. Even though I kept trying to steer us that way on accident through my choices in the national focus tree before. Okay, God. I need... Oh, we can interrogate him now? Yeah, let's interrogate the Frumatari. And then let's do another anti-pirate sweep. Oh, we're back down to 41. Crap, dude. Yeah. Legion parties. Haywire holograms. Oh, dude, those holograms that would walk the halls and stuff, and you have to, like, hide from them and, like, let them pass and sneak past them. The third front has officially opened with the breaching of the resort itself. We expected more ghost people. Instead, we've run afoul of the casino's highly advanced security system. Holographic projectors that seemed immune to all types of weapon fire. The breach team is currently pinned down in the lobby as technicians try to find a way to disrupt the security system. Outside, our troops have managed to push into the remaining villas and are conducting cloud clearing procedures. Already, engineers, construction crews, and prospectors are rummaging through the cleared areas to begin the restoration process. We should have the resort up and running within the few months. Why? Just why? This is Vault Tech levels of stupid. You've got to be kidding me. God, do we have so many guns just because we've had these advanced weaponry for so long?
Yes, there is that little memory I needed, and I can read it like a book. All it cost was me deleting your childhood memories. I should be in jail.
Interrogation success. Is this where we hooked him up to a robo-brain? After several hours of questioning, the Frumatari was hooked up to the interface. Yeah. Kicking and screaming, Callahan began messing with the agent's memories and mind. Before breaking the Frumatari and telling the Enclave officer everything, Callahan confirmed with the neural scanner that it was all true and feels they are that much closer to drawing out Volps Incolta. Or Wolps Incolta. Good. There is still work to be done. Okay, so we at least have one ship patrolling this. Let me do this, because I know we have another ship here docked. Let me add it to the patrol fleet here. Oh. Another Legion party spotted. The Scavenger's Triumph. In the ruins of an ancient factory are scavengers. Yeah, so they just found some more stuff, which... Old World Tactics, which grant 5% attack and defense for 180 days. That's not crazy good, but it's still decent. Okay, yeah, they're still returning. Naval mine manufacturing. That could actually be kind of fun to place, too. But let's go with armor. No, I have to spend PP on if I want to upgrade those city nodes. So let's hold off on that. Okay, who's the biggest group that we could spend PP to take over here? So we have... Oh, we could actually fight the Oregon chapter, right? We could get an Annex War Goal against the Oregon chapter. I want to let them kind of grow because they're in a massive faction. I'm going to deal with all the small groups first before dealing with them. I know they're going to be a fight for sure. Tucson. Who is Tucson? Tucson. I'm not seeing a Tucson anywhere. Unless they're down here? Oh, Tucson. I think these guys are actually in a faction with Caesar's Legion. Yeah. Wait. Could I, since we have a truce with Caesar's Legion, could I kill off Tucson without Caesar's Legion being able to join? And then have an area inside of Caesar's Legion. I want to test that. Let me save this real quick. Because I want to know if this is a thing. Or if it'll even let me do it since they're technically in the same faction as somebody I have a truce with. Okay, let me get my main fighting force over here together. But I'm actually going to change our SAM defense dudes over to our like coastal defense guys over here. Okay, I want you guys to come over here. because you're going to have to fight your way across this strait. That's the only way we can actually get in. But I feel like if we're only fighting the Tucson guys, we should be able to decimate them without the Legion troops doing anything. Okay, I need you guys to get down here quickly. Okay, you're already on that. Let's, strategic order. Oh, there she is, the one that I was talking about. Okay. Exploration of technology. Okay, so it's the same thing as before, but who's doing this one? The heads of the Vancouver Mavens have asked us to sponsor a scavenging party into a ruined research facility nearby. They think there's a large trove. Yeah, so it's the same thing as before. Spectre of Sierra Madre, a paladin from the Mojave chapter, arrived, took one look at the sigil, and immediately mentioned that it was the Circle of Steel. Oh yeah, one of you guys did explain to me what the Circle of Steel actually is. It's like the Brotherhood of Steel's, God, what was it called now? Kind of like the Knights of the Round Table. Like their, kind of like their bureaucracy, like their leaders, sort of say. Roughly the internal affairs of the Brotherhood. Yeah, it's like the internal affairs of Brotherhood. It's like their leadership and stuff. Regardless, he requested to be, he requested to put a call to Lost Hills, which we obliged. Within a few hours, a vertebrate arrived carrying an elder, 2 paladins, and a scribe named Veronica. Yeah, Veronica's the one that you can get as a follower in New Vegas too, right? She's the Power Fist person, right? Announcing a code word, they entered the house with no incident while our troops outside watched on. Within a few minutes, a bewildered woman with scars on her head exited with the Brotherhood party. The Brotherhood say they will take care of her as per our agreement. When it was pointed out that she opened fire on our troops, the elder pointed out she was missing for years and wasn't aware of the recent treaty or the reformation of the Enclave. We will overlook this slight. Well, at least something's to come of it. I need you guys to get down here quick because I wanna do this as quickly as possible. Calhoun Commission, Navarro Archives. Navarro contains the largest archive of Enclave historical documents, some even dating back from before the Great War. Located in the deepest, most protected part of the fortress, it is unsurprising the NCR never got a hold of the documents. Now the Commission is requesting access to the Enclave archives at Navarro. While we cannot deny their request as it will arouse too much suspicion, it will be a few days before they arrive. We can destroy some of the more incriminating documents before Calhoun and his team arrive. Destroy sensitive documents. Let the followers in. I'm just going to show them everything. Let them know that we are reformed. Villa secure. After days of heavy fighting and an unfortunate few losses, Army combat teams and engineer units have reported the villa is secure. Much of the cloud has been cleaned up, although engineers are reporting that the shoddy plumbing infrastructure will continue to leak cloud until the source is found. In fact, so the cloud's coming through like the drains and stuff? Oh my god. The engineers are reporting that much of the villa is in disrepair and the buildings themselves are cheaply made by pre-war standards. It will take some time and effort, especially since prospectors and archaeologists are keen to start digging around in the area we've cleared. Of note, one of our teams found an emitter that displays holograms like the one reported in the casino itself. This might be the key to defeating the holograms since they appear to be impossible to kill. Get it fixed up, we could settle people there. Will this resort ever be safe? Yeah. That has to be giving us some good bonuses afterwards, or after a while. Castle Mountains Test Range. Straddling the border between California and Nevada, the Castle Mountains Test Range was a... Jesus. I was not expecting so much stuff to pop. Okay, so a lot of this is just the base stuff. Which we're not going to read all of that. Which served the Greater Nevada test site. It was also, under the record, used to dispose of radioactive and toxic waste by its command. Unfortunately, because of the immense contamination present at the site, the last 2 centuries have done little to disperse the radiation. As well, the site was home to a vast number of feral ghouls, which had to be eliminated. However, every green cloud has a silver lining. The test site was apparently working on a bunker-busting bomb capable of eliminating any bunkers the Chinese might use to try and survive nuclear attack. The dummy bunkers used for testing were built by Vault-Tec engineers and were constructed with all the facilities expected of a real fallout shelter. Luckily for us, Not all the bunkers were tested on before the Great War came, so the site still has some use to us. Just watch the Geiger counter. So Castle Mountains Test Range Victory Point. That's cool. Okay, so defending the Golden Gate, which we can actually rebuild the Golden Gate Bridge, I believe. Meant to be a modern-day fort point, Fort Baker was taken back over was taken back over from by the Army. Jesus. That's that's some misgrammar right there. And expanded upon to defend the San Francisco Bay from Chinese invasion, an invasion that never came had the Chinese done what was expected of them and invaded California. They would have ran into a modern command post, complete with up-to-date defenses, the best the Army had to offer, and sent packing back across the Pacific. I guess that was supposed to be sent them packing back across the Pacific. Of course, we now know they instead opted for the cowardly option to invade Alaska, forcing our forces north. Post-war, the base was occupied by a strange cult known as the Hublogist? Yeah, Hublogist? That were then forced off by the Shi, who garrisoned it to defend their base from the northern NCR encroachment. Now it is in our hands, and the Army is keen to restore it to help control the movement north and keep the city it watches over under wraps. Hologist, hey, I know those guys. So yeah, these are just ports. Air Force Base, another port, and another Air Force Base. We'll read this one, though. Any of these that are, like, different from just the normal base stuff we'll read. So Stronghold of the Shi. In the decades leading up to the resource wars and the Sino-American War, the Army began upgrading their smaller bases across the continent, and Camp Parks was no different. A training facility, Camp Parks was redesignated Fort Parks and upgraded with additional command and control facilities, barracks, and defensive hardpoints in the fear of a Chinese invasion of the West Coast. Sadly, the bombs fell before this was realized, though Fort Parks was left derelict like so many other installations, until the Shi came and pacified the base, using the facility as a stronghold not only against the Master back in the late 2100s, but against the NCR and Brotherhood encroachment. Now under our control once again, the base is being refitted as a training facility to assist our soldiers in what to expect in a post-nuclear urban environment. Did they have to put did they have to put dragons everywhere? I like that. That's cool. Okay, our forces are almost here. And then this is Two Suns, right? Yeah, this is Two Suns. Yeah, because it's September when our truce goes away. Oh, it's these guys. It's our little raccoon people. Rel Osin's speech. The Slanteer prefer to keep to themselves in their burrows. However, recent events have forced them to take a stand. Slanteer are often looked upon in society literally and figuratively. We understand we're not human. We never were human. We're mutants. For the longest time, we were the targets of raiders, monsters, and even just the sick games of young tribal warriors. I used to fear leaving the burrow, fear the top world. Yet, when I climbed out of my burrow home and see the sun rising every day, I am filled with a renewed sense of purpose. Every day, the Slanteer Scout Honor Guard raises Old Glory above our home and lowers it every night. When I hear the praises of my brave scouts bring for their work, I am filled with an equal renowned sense of hope. Even the oldest of my kind cannot help but be filled with pride at the image of Slanteer marching in formation. I don't know what the Enclave did in the past, and I don't know what it's going to do in the future. What I do know right now, that if it was the same as what it was, I wouldn't be here talking to all of you. When the Enclave approached us all those years ago, they extended a hand in friendship and were willing to give our species a chance. Well, now I extend that same hand back. Kindness creates kindness. We only get 5% legitimacy back from that? Dang. Okay, so it looks like our forces are good now. It's just our upper cannons that aren't here. Let me resave this again. So let me do this Tucson. Actually, I could just overwrite this one because we haven't actually taken it yet. All we did was move our forces down here. Okay, there we go. Now we can take it. Tucson. Let's see if this will pull the Legion in. Oh, so it actually does pull the Legion in. even though we have a truce, right? Okay, yeah, it does. Okay. Sorry, I had to pause real quick because that was playing something that could be copywritten or copyright. So if you actually, if you want to get around the truce, you could just take that to declare war on the two sons, and you could pull the Legion into an actual war, breaking the truce early. So that's actually one way to get around the truce. Huh. So wait, we can capture another agent. That's actually kind of funny. Oh yeah, I want to fight. So we're gonna fight somebody else. Things like I said, I want to go to war against them instantly. I want to see how strong they can get, while I also develop myself like even more. Crazy Horns, are you in a faction? I think you are. Yeah, you're in that faction with them. Let's see, who else do we have around here? Land of Packers, High Chapel, So Shore Nation. I could try to take these guys and probably incorporate their navy. So I think the lands of are all in a faction together, I do believe. Lone Tree, are they on here? No, I don't think a lot of the guys that are left are actually on here that aren't like in a faction and stuff. Okay, I don't think these guys are. Klamath. Okay, they're not. We'll take them then.
Enclave here.
My basic infantry should just be totally fine with taking these guys out. Like, look how small they are. Okay, Calhoun Commission, Arroy Expedition. Okay, so this is the expedition we sent out. Oh, no, these are these guys. Never mind. This is the followers thing. One of the Enclave's more heinous acts was the kidnapping of Wastelanders to be experimented on. The most notable incident is the kidnapping of Vault 13 and the Ario residence. This led to the Chosen One's assault on the rig. The outcome, as we all know, was the destruction of the rig and the death of the president and most of the Enclave's leadership. The Vault 13 and Ario survivors were returned to Ario. Members of the commission are interested in interviewing the residents of Ario, particularly the older ones who remember their time in captivity. Needless to say, such evidence will be extremely damning for us. The caravan is stopping by New Reno for the night. Perhaps they are also looking for evidence of our past dealings with the Salvatoris. Regardless, it would not be out of the ordinary for them to suffer a mob hit outside of New Reno. You know what to do, Callahan. Nope. Guarantee safe passage. Oh my god. Where are our... Okay, here we have an Air Force base here. Oh, it's only up to 150. Oh, I think these are following our troops here, yeah. But they are all actually jet fighters. So that's actually really nice. So we have swapped out a lot of our old fighters for jet fighters. I do want to add some more fighters just over this front. We'll do one stack of these guys, and then we have two of these that aren't full yet, but we're going to do close air support and this. And then these guys are going to be directly over West Arizona here. Oh, we have 750 in Fort Harvey Air Force Base. Jesus. Okay. Then I'm actually going to put some of these rotary bombers here too. Let's get some of these transport planes here. I'm going to leave those guys out, honestly. We could add some monoplane bombers. They have some range. These should get swapped out for our jet ones later on. Oh, wait, we didn't add... Oh, I'm dumb. Okay, yeah, we didn't add any pass to this yet. So, yeah, just... Okay, so a lot of our rotary ones can go out to here. So that's actually not bad. These guys actually have really good range. And those are the ones that the NCR had, too. So, strategic bomb... no, I don't want to strategically bomb logistics centers because we're going to need those when we move through them. Okay, my headset turned off and turned back on. That was weird. We could hit their airfields, but I feel like we should have... I want to say we'll have air superiority against them. So it's like, what should I really hit then to kind of gain an advantage over them? Could go for their factories. This way, in more of a long drawn out war with them, I can kind of dominate industrial wise. I feel like that's probably a good idea too. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah. So we'll do that. I think those are the only, yeah, those are the only 3 groups we had of that. I need jet bombers too, because I could actually do that with jet bombers also. And then we actually have some more airfields up here, which I'll do 2 groups of fighters here for air superiority, and then I'll wait for more casts to get made. Yeah, Legion raiding party. Now, the guys that are here,
Out here at Enclave.
I might keep them here and push through this lower section. Okay, they actually have tanks and stuff here. Oh my god. Okay, that tank division's kind of crap, but they do have 2 motorized in it, which does add a little bit more organization. I think I have tank divisions in this. Okay, I do have armored divisions here, but the issue is we are fighting over a strait, which could cause us issues too. But I do feel like we could get a nice attack going, and then we can do something across this here. And then we could actually get rid of Tucson's this way. We can kind of do something like that. I need to get another main attack force up, which I do have an infantry attack force up here, which I think they do have.
Fighter out here at Enclave.
Yeah, they're motorized. I do have some other guys mixed in, like some motorized, some like light special forces.
President's watching us like a hawk.
And these guys, I could try to attack across this strait and then push them across this here and try to surround their front lines. Because if I can surround their front lines here and possibly like take Flagstaff, because their capital will definitely move. They have so much territory that it will move. But if I can get rid of most of their front line units, that would be a massive blow to them. Especially because we have motorized here. If we can break through and our motorized actually push forward, that would be so nice. Let me actually make sure all the units are actually using...
Enclave here.
Okay, yeah. Hollow jamming. The trick worked. By jerry-rigging a hollow emitter to a portable generator, the hologram's emission signal was jammed. Once they were down, an improvised sensor was used to locate the emitters in order to destroy every last one of them. Ascending to the upper floors, we found the dead bodies of the resort guests and staff. Initial investigation indicates they were killed by the resort's security system. We'll be sure to tear that accursed system out and dispose of it. Unfortunately, there are no more survivors, ghoulified or otherwise. There is evidence of others being here, but they're long gone now. We're also getting reports of the toxic cloud in some of the upper floors, meaning the renovation may be much more costly than initially thought. Start sending out investigations to the new gala event. Finally, a damn break. Send out investigations to the gala event. Oh, we actually have air doctrine here too, which we have a lot of air XP. Let's go air superiority and bad weather penalty gone. Oh, we actually have full on this. Oh, that's actually great. What is this? This is for air attack and stuff, so we can go one or the other for both of these. So close air support organization damage or air mission efficiency, but we lose air defense. Let's go air mission efficiency. And then air attack, we lose some defense. Ground attack factor. Ooh, max airspeed. Let's go with unrelenting firepower. And then max speed, air mission efficiency, air support efficiency. Yep. And that leaves us with 101 here. So let's do something like this. Ooh, I do like the air range, even though we do have high air range. Fighter detection's kind of eh. Yeah, let's go with that. And then light aircraft, so agility, air superiority. We are not really using many light aircraft right now, right? That's what's considered straight up light aircraft. That's all aircraft. Air superiority. Ooh, that's kind of nice. How much does that cost us? That would be 100, so we wouldn't be able to get it right this moment. Or we can go with ground bombing targeting and stuff like that. Yeah, we're going to go with more ground targeting stuff there with that last 50. Okay, perfect. Okay, are you guys in position? Almost. Heavy incinerator finished. Let's go with, because I think our heavy incinerators we went hard attack for on that. We could mix it up and do some hard attack and some soft attack. Yeah, let's do that for the demolitions team. We'll go some hard attack, some soft attack. We'll spend 30 on that to try to get that done quicker, because I think almost all of our people have demolition teams attached to them. They're going after... Oh, they just defeated the Houston Rockets. Oh. Okay, let's see. Closing of the Calhoun Commission. Calhoun stood before the Assembly, the President, Cabinet, Congress, journalists, all stared at him. He never felt this nervous since his days with Edward Sallow. But he had a duty to carry out. I, William Calhoun, solemnly swear that everything I say here is the truth. My commission has reviewed all available evidence, and we have come to a conclusion on the matter at hand. On behalf of the commission, I report that the Enclave in pre-war United States committed crimes against humanity. Calhoun proceeded to systematically list all evidence of crimes the Calhoun Commission collected. Some were so horrifying that audience members fainted or broke into tears. The atrocities ranged from pre-war concentration camps for Chinese Americans, Mariposa FEV experiments, the village massacre by vertebrates. The most significant result was the crimes of the Enclave went up to the highest level, including President Richardson himself. Some congressmen attempted to shout down Calhoun for insulting their martyr, but they were removed by security. The whole affair lasted through the whole day. By 7 p.m., Calhoun reached the closing part of the report. In his closing speech, Calhoun said that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Calhoun followed up with that statement with listing possible actions the government should carry out to make amends for the past, which would later be known as the Reparations Act. Throughout the entire ordeal, Douglas Granite felt a burning hatred for his predecessors, especially President Richardson, the men who betrayed the very ideals of America. Douglas Granite felt vindicated that he had revealed the crimes of the Enclave, but it was now up to him to fix his predecessor's mistake. We bear the sins of the past. Light at the end of the tunnel. I kind of want to get a naval group to naval invade from here down into Puerto Liberated, or like take this naval base here and then push out here just to have like a nice little beachhead. I feel like that'd be kind of cool. Let me get... Okay, because I have them patrolling this here, which is what I want. My main fleet here. Let's do convoy raiding of the Gulf of California at the moment. Well, actually, no, we can hold off until it gets closer. I'll have you guys stay where you are. We do have some Enclave auxiliaries getting trained here, so I'm going to drop these guys here. I'm just going to poop them out right now. That's 20 dudes. Where is... Okay, we have Aqua Boy guy here. Okay, how many of you can I get to naval invade this? And then I'll have to kind of let it sit for a second. I'm going to land there also. So we're going to try to land across this like that. Because I kind of wish I could land on this side, but I can't. I think it's because it goes into a new area. Oh, I think we have enough to where we can land all across this if we wanted to. And then just kind of move out and take stuff as we want. I kind of like that. So we could try to get this base. We could try to get this port. But the more area that we kind of do, the harder it's going to be for us to take certain things. So we could do something like this to try to take that plus this port. How many do we have moving across? Oh, all 20 divisions can move across. Okay, that's actually nice. Let's get you guys all moved in then there. So we have September when the truce goes away. Okay, these guys should be over there. Yeah, they are. Okay. We're going to pop that now. Declare war. Declare war. Oh, yeah, our infantry's pushing these guys out. They actually have a lot of guys in here for a small group. Now, they probably crappy infantry. Kinda. I think they have, like, one... Because that's, what, 3 units? Let's look at the motorized real quick. Yeah, that's just straight up motorized. So they probably have, like, 1 support each with some infantry. So those aren't too bad. So, about FEV. Of all pre-war maladies, that plague was Wasteland. Or the plague... Or, God. That plagued the Wasteland. None has been more apparent than FEV. What started as an earnest attempt to protect Americans from Chinese biological attacks became a catalyst for nearly every major event in the post-war America. From the Master's Army to the literal plague that hit Utah, FEV has brought nothing but pain and destruction to the waste. However, our efforts in Dugway Proving Grounds have bore some fruit, working off our old research to omnicide ahem, cure the wasteland of radioactive maladies. Scientists have managed to rework the deadly stuff into targeting certain wasteland horrors, from cazadors to deathclaws. Of course, anything involving requires presidential approval, and the science team is awaiting your response. Well, if can do some good, if can do some good, are you kidding me? No. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm about it. Light at the end of the tunnel. We had braced ourselves for another wave of unrest following the Calhoun Commission results. However, it was only sporadic at best. Perhaps it was because of exhaustion over the previous round, or because they now know we are not going to kill them, as we did not when President Douglas Granite first broke the news. Maybe because the commission absolved President Douglas Granite of wrongdoing. After all, Douglas Granite was just a child when Navarro fell, much like many in the room. Regardless, none can deny the air of unease across America. People are afraid to express themselves in public, coworkers refusing to share personal information out of fear the other may be a government spook. Families peer out the window at night, watching out for jackbooted thugs out to kidnap their children. It is as if people are afraid of their government. In order to regain the trust of our citizens, we need to make amends for our past. And so today's Congress has passed the Reparations Act, aimed at making amends for our past sins. The president is expected to sign it into law later today. The act contains provisions for war crime tribunals, reparations, and other measures as recommended by the Calhoun Commission. However, critics point out that the wording of the act suggests that these measures may be optional, and it remains to be seen how thorough the Reparations Act will be. We must make amends for the past. So unlocks the Reparation Act decisions. Okay, let's look at these decisions here. Oh, okay, so here we go. So we can compensate the victims, trial of the vertibird pilots, investigate the general staff, investigate the scientists, war criminals, executive oversight. So let's pop a war criminals one first. The Reparations Act, war criminals, and the general staff. I was ordered to go in there and destroy the mutants. That was my job on that day. That was the mission I was given. I did not sit down and think in terms of men, women, and children. They were all classified the same. Orion Moreno at his trial. Shocking news has hit our army. A ex-soldier going by the name Hannibal Johnson and a former NCR Ranger turned U.S. Marshal by the call sign Aquamarine have released and implicating numerous members of the officer corps in war crimes. Most notably, Orion Moreno, apparently Marshal Aquamarine, found Johnson somewhere in the Mojave, and both of them worked together to uncover evidence on Enclave war criminals hiding in their past. Due to their seniority, many of these war criminals ended up in senior positions in our army. their past buried under a mountain of lies until now. Punishing them will certainly affect our combat effectiveness, but we must do so if we want to remain true to our Reparations Act mission. They are too important. Punish them. So, I'm sorry, Orion. Retire Orion Marino from the United States Army gains guilty soldiers for a full year. That's not too bad, honestly. Yeah. We gotta keep up with doing that. Okay. So, securing Big Mountain. Expedition to the Big Empty. Before the war, one of the greatest centers of R&D was the Big Mountain, long thought to be destroyed. Whispers of eerie lights in the night as the center of the site inspired an expedition. To our surprise, we found a realm of wonders and terrors, cybernetic enhancements, holographic technology, and new ceramics, but also shambling corpses, robotic scorpions, and malevolent fauna. As the vertebrates descended, its gunners putting down a series of strange individuals in hospital garb and shooting at us. The president must decide what to do with the facility. Be careful, we don't know what forbidden technology we'll find. Oh, see, here's the think tank. The think tank. Yeah, this was actually a cool DLC for the game also. This was something that was so different, but fit the Fallout universe so well. Like, this is one of the, I would say that one of the defining DLCs of the game, like just the Fallout universe in general, because it showed how technologically advanced some parts of the Fallout universe were and how far they have come to this point. The think tank. To our surprise, pre-war scientists have survived in the think tank. Adopting robotic bodies, time has not been kind, and they are clearly insane in the mainframe. Oh, that is great. Insane in the mainframe. While most dream of leaving to experiment in the waste, the one called Mobius has warned us that this will end only in tears. A few suggest that it might be worth supporting their research. Ooh, I kind of like that. So let's see what we have here. Persuade them to stay in the Big Mountain. Shut them down. There's no stopping progress. A think tank which grants even more. Oh god, we lose some stuff though. Let's persuade them to stay in the Big Mountain. And then we could take... God, where is it? Here it is. Restoring the Big Mountain, which gives us some decent stuff too. New Reno, Tahoe. 2 airports primarily serviced the area of Greater Reno before the war. Those 2 being Reno Tahoe International Airport and the much smaller Carson City Airport, both in their respective cities, of course. While the restoration of the airport at Carson City was relatively simplistic, the restoration of Reno Tahoe took a little more effort, as the runway had been covered nearly end to end in shanties and scrap shacks. Apparently, a notable portion of New Reno's poor and destitute population had been driven to the airport by gang warfare decades ago. Fortunately, most of the denizens of the airport's shantytown had relocated on their own following the government's return. The few who remained were compensated and happily left. Now we'll be able to connect 2 of the largest population centers in Nevada together by air, while the planes at our disposal will be a little archaic. Such a feat as this is still a marvel in the modern day. Let's fly away. Adds the New Reno Tahoe International Airport and Carson City Airport victory points to New Reno. That's awesome. They do have a lot of forces, though, which does make me want to make even more units. What are some of these new ones that we're getting here? Oh, yeah, this is my light special. Oh, this is a different light special forces group. Yeah, but I didn't make this one, no. Yeah, that's a different one. Let's make some more power armor groups, because this is one fire team, one demolitions team. But I want to add another fire team and another demolitions team to this. And then let's just fill this up. Let's get a massive unit here. You know what? No, I don't like that. Let's do, yeah, the 2 demolitions, the 2 fire teams. What else do we have for support? We could do an artillery battery here. Wait, we could add geckos? That's actually hilarious. It doesn't even do anything for us to support geckos. It actually hurts us in the long run. Oh, okay, so it adds bonuses to like radioactive wastes and stuff. That's actually kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like, I don't need that. Okay, yeah, let's add 2 more fire teams and 2 more demolitions teams to this. To our normal power armor groups. And then let's actually train up some more power armor groups. Let's do like a whole unit, because I know some of them are like 20s. I guess it just depends on the unit itself. The only thing, though, is once we go to war, we're going to be burning through a lot of our supply that we currently have. God, that always weirds me out when it does that. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, let's look back up here. Oh. So it looks like we're hitting some snags here as they get more condensed in that area. The heart of the Sierra Madre, as restoration and archaeological expeditions on the surface began, our troops descended into the lower levels of the casino in hopes of finding the source of the cloud. Strangely, the elevator shaft leading to the basement was disabled, despite appearing to be in perfect order, so our troops were forced to rappel down. When they made it in, they were beset by the cloud, holograms, and curiously more ghost people. But by now, all this had become standard procedure, and the basement was secured quickly. Save for the ghost people, they seemed to be clamoring out of a maintenance shaft and were arriving in greater numbers as our troops pressed on. Increasingly, they didn't appear to be affected by the security holograms, and for a time, the holograms actually assisted us in dispatching the mutants. That was, of course, until the holograms turned on the expedition, at which point they were disabled. Not long after clearing the casino's lower levels, did the casino team link up with the villa team in the maintenance tunnels. While there still needs to be a few steps or few sweeps, it appears the ghost people have been entirely cleared and should no longer be a threat. All that's left now is the Sierra Madre's vault, which looks as locked up as any Vault Tech vault. We've broken into vaults before, nothing new. The auto grenade launcher. I don't think I'm making any of these in the first place. I like how the cyber dogs are there. Let's go with, that's gonna still be a long time before we can get that one. Let's do an upgrade our maintenance company to pretty much max level on the maintenance company. Oh, I didn't know we had another research here. You know what? I just realized we only lost 11 guys attacking these dudes. They've lost almost 2,000. They've lost about 2,000. We've lost 11. That is hilarious. We haven't even called the Brotherhood in to help us. We haven't called the Brotherhood in to help us with anything thus far. But yeah, we've lost 11 dudes on this front. Well, they've lost 2,000. USS Enterprise duty has ended. It's been a year since the USS Enterprise has returned to our shore. While Douglas Granite's decision to scrap the carrier was controversial among the crew, the resources pooled could not be understated. However, nearly every bit of the ship has been torn apart, every alloy, every circuit, and all the advanced components aboard. It was always a temporary measure. Now, all that remains of the USS Enterprise is the anchor, which has been placed on display in front of the Naval headquarters as a memorial to both the ship and the Enclave sailors who risked and lost their lives after the rig went down. Rest easy, old girl. You will be remembered. Oh, I didn't think about us losing all of that resources. Yeah, I didn't think about it. Yeah, I didn't think about that when we chose that option. Dang, that kind of sucks. I mean, we still have 149 of it. Whoop. Okay, so that's a city coming back up. A grisly discovery. The vault, while built similar to a nuclear fallout shelter, was far easier to cut into than expected. Mostly as we were expecting Vault Tech quality, cutting a hole through the reinforced glass viewport, we accessed the vault with ease, as the door was a simple sealant type seen quite commonly across the wastes. Once inside, however, the breach team was shocked both by what they found and what they didn't find. Lying hunched over on the floor in front of the door was a dead body, recent too. The blue robes marked him as a Brotherhood elder, meaning he may be the missing elder Elijah. Oh, so we didn't actually get... So he ran away here once we took over the Mojave Brotherhood. From the Mojave chapter, a preliminary report from one of our medics shows he died of a stroke. Even worse than that, though, is that other than the body, a terminal, and a gun locker, the vault is completely and totally empty. Oh, no, so this means that the courier did already come through here. I see. Because, you know, the courier, the ghoul that we found did bring up the courier before. So that means the courier already did come through here and absolutely took all the riches. No riches, no treasures, no gold. Someone must have stolen everything out of the vault and made off with it. This is a tragic turn of events, as the gold was most of the motivation for this expedition. All we found on the terminal were 2 files. The first was a pointed letter to Dean disguised as Sinclair's personal accounts, set as a trap designed to lock the vault for eternity, with Dean in it. This must be how the elder met his fate. The other was a letter addressed to Vera Keys, whose remains were located in the executive suites of the casino. In it, Sinclair wrote that he built the Sierra Madre for her, apologized to Keys for laying this trap for her, and in his final moments was trying to find a way to turn the vault from a trap into a shelter for her. The founder's skeletal remains were found right where he said he'd be, on the pipes by the ledge outside the vault, trying to rewire the vault in vain. The loss of the Sierra Madre's gold is a major setback, but we can let it go. The casino is ours now, and we can commence restoration operations immediately. Should have let go while we had the chance. Well, I mean, once we restore it, I feel like we'll have a... I feel like it'll give us some kind of boost. And I like listening to the stories. So Sky over California. Okay, this is just another air mobility command. Another outpost established. Is there anyone else over here that we can go to war against? Oh, we're still fighting these guys, but... Was MadSec on here? Or MaxSec? No. Murtaugh Reformers? Oh, okay, we'll look at that here in a second. Oh, Murtaugh Reformers are actually on here. Okay. About those vending machines. Some of our technologies in the Sierra Madre have been noted that the Sierra Madre vending machines aren't like normal vending machines we've seen out in the waste. They seem to be matter converters of sorts, able to use the materials in the Sierra Madre chips that our troops have been collecting to create a number of pre-programmed items ranging from food to medical supplies. We thought they were just a way to line Sinclair's pockets before the war. This incredible technology could actually set us on the path for a post-scarcity world. However, those tokens can only replicate things on a small scale. Reproducing it on an industrial scale will take time, not to mention the material for the tokens themselves. For the time being, we could dispatch these machines to remote medical outposts to assist with supplies. Our soldiers are nevertheless upset that their souvenirs are being confiscated. Forget the gold, this is far more valuable. That is actually cool, I like that, yeah. Wait, Domain Northwestern Brotherhood. This is a lot of territory, actually. This is all of the north? Because this is Innocence Lost, Puna Shield, Walla Walla, and 96 others. So we gain Annex Wargle against them and get cores on all of that. Oh, they changed their name. I didn't realize that the Oregon Brotherhood changed their name to the Northwestern Brotherhood. Dude, they've got even bigger. Oh my god. And they're faction with Troll Warren, Montana chapter, and the Rheumatardas? Dude, they are massive. Oh my god. Dude. Okay, the Northwestern Brotherhood's gonna be an issue more than likely. More than likely than not, they're gonna be an issue. Oh, we have countdowns on this? Oh, okay. Let's do compensation to the victims. The Reparations Act, victims of Vault Tech and Enclave. In accordance to the Reparations Act passed by the Congress, all persons who have suffered by Vault Tech experiments, whether pre-war or post-war, are to be entitled the following: psychological aid by medically licensed psychologists, if descendant of military personnel or former personnel, if ghoul or super mutant from pre-war, to be paid 1,200 USD, as well as given the benefits owned in accordance to the GI Act of 2057. 3. If ghoul or mutant super mutant for the vaults to be compensated with 20,000 USD directly with a natural stipend of 5 USD daily. I could definitely see that because ghoul or mutated super mutants, like the rest of their lives are definitely been messed up. Any persons who ended experiments, whether they be hero, overseer, or security, are to be given a presidential medal for their push to not let logic dictate emotion and vice versa. For being able to do the right thing, these persons are also to be compensated a varied amount depending upon their actions in the line of duty to end Vault Tech experiments. Any persons directly affected by former Enclave sanctioned experiments or military activity are to be compensated with $1,500 USD. In addition to such reparations, funding set aside by the Congressional Budgeting Committee is to be used to build a memorial in the city of the Boneyard in honor of those who suffered and lost their lives to the experiments, with each and every vault to become a federally funded museum to warn of the horrors of pre-war. Note, credit for this event goes to Sergeant Major Eddie Fox. Well, it's the least we could do. With the sway of Douglas Granite, the act dies on the floor. This will strengthen the Reparations Act, but give debuffs to consumer good factories and caps income. I mean, honestly, we're making good money off of caps anyway. I mean, yeah, look at that. It might change here in a second, though, once I unpause, but... no, that's American Brotherhood. I was wondering if it gave one of these, but we'll see. It might not be finished, too, because it might only finish after this. Let's do executive oversight. The Reparations Act executive oversight. During the days on the rig, the Enclave ruled absolutely. There was no checks and balances on the president's authority. Even the pre-war USA was guilty of such sins. Of course, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Perhaps it is no surprise the Enclave turned out as we know. In order to prevent a repeat of the situation, the Calhoun Commission suggested forming an independent oversight body to act as a check on the power of the government. Shockingly, we have realized that we never thought about oversight against executive overreach until now. Perhaps we should form a standing oversight committee under Congress as a check and balance, and external oversight NGO run by former Calhoun Commission members could also help as a second line of defense against another President Richardson. We can police ourselves. Just create it. Just do it. 600 days. We lose so much PP. Might as well make Congress do something aside, be a rubber stamp office. Oh, I need that PP, man. Oh, I mean, we're still getting, never mind. We're still getting almost 5 PP a day. We're getting like 4.5 PP a day. Legion raiding party spotted again. I think that's just the countdown. Okay, so the next one's just the Marine one. Let's pay to establish another outpost. And then let's do... none of these I really want. Okay, let's go to the bottom then, because I think I didn't go all the way down to see. Okay, there's really nothing new then. There's actually the RepCon test site. So open for business is something we have to do. How are my... God, this is taking them forever to get trained up. Nevada Airlines. With several major airports established in the Nevada region, our hopeless idealism has now been made into reality. Civilian airliners carry passengers, cargo, and mail in a mere fraction of the time it would take by ground. Our economy is seeing a small but noticeable boost on account of the increased travel. Some are even purchasing tickets just for the sake of flying. As our network expands, so too will its economic benefit. It's a pair of wings for me. So we get Nevada Airlines, which grants H generation, more PP, air experience daily, and trade tariffs. The more airports we restore, the more benefits will be gleamed. That's sweet. Let's do... I want to do some motorized divisions. Could add some mobile demolition teams also to these guys. I like how there's chariots there. It's kind of funny. Okay, let's save this then. This will help upgrade our motorized divisions a little bit because they are kind of fast too. We'll add some support stuff there. Wait, our heavy AA can keep up with these guys now? That's honestly kind of crazy. I thought that would lower the speed, but I guess not. Okay, that's perfect. We'll do that then. We're almost into September. Construction continues. Construction crews are continuing on the renovation of the Sierra Madre. There have been a few lingering ghost people sightings requiring a modest security assignment as well. Engineers and technicians are still searching for the source of the cloud, which continues to plague efforts. However, the word of the Sierra Madre has attracted sightseers from afar, especially since it was considered a myth and not an actual place for 2 centuries. Okay. I feel like I need more defensive troops in some of these, because we do have, like, power armor in some of these areas and infantry, but I'm afraid some of these guys might get pushed out. And that's not something I want to happen. Which we do have... Or maybe we don't have some more guys around. Ah, that kind of sucks. Yeah, the only other guys we really have are the American Brotherhood out here.
Why isn't your video feed working?
I want to protect Hoover Dam the most, so let me do this. And then let's do this. We're just going to set this up on Hoover Dam. I don't think that actually stuck. No, come on. Because Hoover Dam is its own thing is the issue here. I might just have to do this then. Just sit here and garrison borders and then just guard Hoover Dam. Or is this one actually... Wait, let me see.
Enclave here.
No, yeah, see, these are their own.
This is Enclave main comm.
Is it because those guys are in the way? Let me do this then.
Video feed working.
Move out of the way real quick.
Enclave here.
Okay. God, can I not? Okay, there we go. I added it there. Radioactive material leak confirmed. Our intelligence crew deployed to the structure's control room thankfully managed to power on a pre-war computer with the help of some portable fission devices. Oh, we've already read this before. Transport bots carrying equipment to plug any leaks detected. Impressive indeed. Okay, this must be for Hoover Dam. The NBC officers will be pleased the efficiency of their soldiers. Ah, I think it is Hoover Dam because I think it's us repairing the turbines. I think that's what's proccing that. So we need some factories there for that, but... Oh, yeah. So we have some more renovations we could do for some of these, too. Oh, no, I think it was for this. Yeah, because this isn't done yet. So it was for these, because we did some generator-based stuff before. Yeah. Okay, let's do this one next. So, Diablo Canyon Power Plant. So we can get as much power as we can get from a lot of these. Now, how much do we have... Okay, so we have 4 active on the power plant with 1 repairing. We're currently getting 163 power from Hoover Dam. So that's cool. So we can slowly, like I said, slowly repair Hoover Dam. It's just okay, that's our naval crew successful for the pirate raid, which let's continue another pirate raid. There it is. Conduct another anti-pirate raid cruise. We almost have enough to do some more of the reparations stuff. They have a lot of guys. They're watching a lot of their coast for sure. But it's only really infantry that they have on their coast. So I'm wondering how much infantry they have in this area on the coast. I kind of want to take out the Baja State here just so I can get a really nice area into like even their lowest southern sections. Especially with air. We have 20 troops there that are going to really do some work when the time comes. Because we're going to move our main navy over there once we can. Like, how's our resources looking? Pretty decent, because I think we're building up a lot of infrastructure. Let's go with more air now. Again. Honestly, we have a lot of this artillery, too. We have a lot of these howitzers. I might... Let's stop making these now. And then let's go to making more casks. Because once the efficiency gets higher on this, we won't need as many factories. Same thing with these jet fighters. Casks will help us a lot. Trying to keep our alloy under control, though. Okay, there we go. Alright, so those guys are down. That was actually kind of a longer fight than I was expecting, but given it was just our infantry. Like, it's just some of our basic infantry with some rail artillery.
It's always tighter out here at Enclave.
But they were stronger than I was expecting towards the end of that fight there. These guys we could take on at some point, so we'll move some guys over there.
Who the hell is this? The president?
Okay, we're getting into August. Yeah, they have 3 tank divisions down here. Let's go and see what else I can upgrade for naval-wise. Let's grab Seagulls. They're only 22 days. I want to see vehicle-wise what we have. Okay, so we haven't gotten sophisticated vehicles yet, is a thing. Let's upgrade our Special Forces kit. Because we do, like I said, have light Special Forces up in the north, so that could help them too.
Who the hell is this? The president?
Nice. Okay, so we finished restoring Big Mountain. I don't know if that'll give us any more options, though, is the thing. I'm in an in-between on continuing that or going at the Commonwealth Project. This is what, 40 days? Because I know we can only take these 2. And then coming back down and slowly doing more of this. But I do want Area 6, too. Man. Because I was told this I can get Gauss weapons, which makes sense with this here. Let's do it. I want to try to get towards Gauss weapons. But I also... Crap. Let me stop this real quick. I need to do this, because we have some debuffs that we're getting to our military. Because we can remove stunted and unprepared. And this will help us a decent amount, too. And I think it will actually help us with the Brotherhood of Steel, too. I think we get more units and stuff from them. So we're going to do this. Because we do have a war that's looming right now. And I don't know, like I said, if the Legion's going to instantly go to war against us or not. Because how long is our truce still? Why isn't it showing it to me now? Let me read this real quick. The end of the cloud. Deep within the maintenance tunnels of the Sierra Madre, we found the source of the cloud, the rust-colored toxic gas that's been plaguing our efforts since we arrived. Here, the cloud was at its thickest, resistant even to our cryogenic weaponry, almost as if it was adapting to our weapons, but that's just poetry. Simply doubling their efforts, our troops pushed to the central ventilation and central pump station that the cloud was emerging from. The petrified remains of ghost people stand frozen where they stood, their suits too corroded to move, and their respirators clogged with residue. Setting a series of cryocharges, we finally snuffed out the cloud at its source. Now we can renovate the resort sublevels with every last threat we can think of removed from the Sierra Madre. Finally, let's forget the cloud ever existed. Okay, there we go. Oh no, that's that. Oh, did the truce just end? Oh, it did. Okay. So they aren't directly declaring on us straight away. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, so we can refurbish that Air Force base. And now let's do Trial of the Vertibird pilots. The Reparations Act, Trial of the Vertibird pilots. I was just following orders, a phrase repeated uncountable times during the trial of the vertebrate pilots. God, this is sounding like the Nuremberg trials right now. I was just following orders. I was just following orders, which, to a point, it could be true. Especially, say you just got brought into the military, which I guess a lot of these Enclave soldiers weren't, but a lot of them were indoctrinated, though. For sure, from a very young age. But it still doesn't excuse their crimes to a certain point. There is a reason why Wastelanders once feared the sight of vertibirds in the sky. Their speed, firepower allowed them to obliterate entire villages within minutes. It is no surprise the bulk of the Enclave's atrocities were committed by vertibirds, and by extension, their pilots. As part of our Reparations Act's efforts, we have organized a war crimes tribunal for vertibird pilots. Should they be found guilty, it will bring ease to our citizens knowing that justice will be done even decades later. However, these pilots have valuable knowledge that will be lost if imprisoned or executed. We need their knowledge. Just following orders is no excuse. Man. Which, I'm just going to take that. We're just, And let's investigate. Dude, the general staff one's going to be rough, I feel like. Dude, please tell me, sorry. I'm going to tell you guys now, if Dornan's on the investigate the general staff, we're going to pardon Dornan. Let's do it. The Reparations Act, reparations to victims. While the dead tell no tales, they do have living relatives in the aftermath of the Calhoun Commission. Many of them are coming forward demanding monetary reparations for their unjustly slain relatives. Considering our non-discriminatory targeting, the sum we have to pay will burn a hole in our budget. Or we can only offer token compensation instead, although they will not be happy over it. So it goes. Pay them the full amount. That's not too bad. Honestly, we have the money. So we lose 100K. Jesus, actually, I don't think we have that. Oh, actually. Dude, that's gonna drain like every penny we currently have. Dang, dude, yeah. Okay, at least it wasn't. I thought when it said general staff, I thought it was gonna be like our actual generals and stuff. Okay, good. Dornan's off the hook. Traders from Hawaii. Far to our west, past the hulking wrecks of oil rigs and minor military islands, lies the Isles of Hawaii. Once, according to a book we once found, at least, these islands were also a part of America, and the home of the American Pacific Fleet. By 2077, the Pacific Fleet was a vast collection of nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, destroyers, and missile boats. Most of the fleet was in port at the start of the Great War. Yeah, we already traded with these guys once, so this is just repeating what they said before, but I'll read it for new viewers. And was wrecked by the multitude of Chinese nuclear missiles that hit the port. The tribes of this Hawaii now take a living, scrapping advanced components of the countless wrecks, trading for weapons and food with settlements up and down the west coast. This morning's cluster of native traders from Hawaii arrived in our ports, offering a plethora of rare goods for a price. It's an opportunity we won't get for some time. So come tell us war stories from your homeland. Buy some of their exotic goods for our people, which that gets us PP, right? Yeah, buddy, give me that PP. Vault City Airport. A petition has arrived from Vault City. A number of citizens are outraged that they have not been connected to our Nevada airlines network and are demanding that a new airport be built in Vault City. Of course, it's obvious that a new airline connection to Vault City would be a great benefit, especially considering the large population that lives in that region. Easy enough decision, except Vault City's petition has a catch. On top of more strict and stringent rules pertaining to passengers, they're demanding that airline tickets across the board be steeply increased in price. Seems strange at first glance, considering that would affect them too, but reading between the lines, it's obvious they have ulterior motives. Their goal, it seems, is to segregate air travel by making it unaffordable to the common wastelander. Technically, it would not constitute discrimination, since anyone would be able to fly as long as they can afford it, but it's obvious to us that these practices will be discriminatory. It'll be obvious to everyone else, especially when they're the ones footing the bill. Freedom means freedom to travel. It's available because you have integrated Wastelanders. So try hard to worry if somebody you should fear that the whole world's off limits. Visit Nuka-Land this year. Add Vault City Airport to Vault City without segregating airlines. So available because you took integrated the Wastelanders. Remove Nevada Airlines and add Vault Airlines. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Perfect. We're almost done. At least with this part of the Reparations Act. Now the question too, because we have with Caesar's Legion, if we still have it, okay, this right here, where free man shall stand. One of the following must be true. One of the following must be true. Does not exist. Is in a civil war. Is at war with the United States. Has completed focus. Operation Augustus. So what happens if we let this go all the way through? Have closed ranks against America. We must prepare for the war that is truly coming our way. Does this, like, forcibly make Caesar come after us or not? Or does it cause us issues is the question. Oh, God. So we have Power Fists now. So that was the powered melee thing that we spent the money on. Mare Island Marine Barracks. The Marine were not going to see themselves left out of a fight against the communist invasion and recommissioned Mare Island Barracks to defend California and America itself. Sadly, the Chinese invaded Alaska. Undeterred, Mare Island Barracks were further expanded and was turned into a gateway for the landings in Shanghai, with the Marines' 1st, 3rd, and 5th Divisions launching from here while the 2nd, 4th, and 6th headed out from Pendleton. Mare Island continued to serve the interests of the Marine Corps right up until the Great War. It served as a Raider HQ for a while before the Shi took it over, and the barracks was slated for occupation again once operations in Navarro were settled in for our eventual reconquest of San Francisco. Sadly, those never came to fruition given the rig's destruction. Regardless, the stars and stripes flies over the base proudly once more. Hoorah, Marines. Something that would be cool, because I feel like, they talked about bunkers. I love how I tried going over here to see China. It'd be cool if Bethesda made a game where maybe as, like, 'cause, we had military, like, we were boots on the ground in China and, like, Shanghai and stuff. If maybe we took over some of the vaults and we're, like, living in the vaults when the bombs dropped, and then maybe you're a soldier that survived in China when the bombs dropped, and so you're surviving in China directly after the bombs dropped. I feel like that would be a pretty cool game. I would love to play something like that. That would be awesome. Okay, let's send out our motorized prospectors again. Okay, last reparations. Or at least I assume is the last, because it's the last one on here. So investigate the scientists. The Reparations Act, bystander scientists. While the FEV scientists have been executed as part of our purge of the purists, which is funny because we didn't purge the purists, we actually brought them in. There are many other veteran scientists still under our payroll. These scientists were not involved in FEV research, but knew of it and did nothing to stop FEV research. While they are not guilty of any criminal offense, the Calhoun Commission report blasted them for morale cowardice and suggested their employment be terminated. However, firing our veteran scientists will kneecap our research capabilities for some time. I don't like the idea of the word, like, moral cowardice. Like, yes, they knew it was going on, but they weren't directly involved in it. Because, like, during that time, what are they going to do? Like, if they knew of it, they probably didn't have access to it. Because I would say a lot of these were pre-war regulations to where scientists didn't have access to all the labs. So, like, really, what are they going to do? Are they going to talk to their higher-ups? They're just going to get shot down. Like, nothing's going to happen either way there. Are they going to go out to the wasteland, leave the rig, and tell the waste, oh, this is going on this rig over there? No one's going to believe them. they're more likely to hit the shore and get killed by a raider or a mutated animal. Like, they're scientists, not soldiers. Like, I don't like the, like, what are they to do in this situation? That's my biggest thing. Like, I feel like that's what you kind of got to look at in a lot of these cases, is like, what are you to do? Like, do you murk yourself out of God, what's where I'm looking for? Defiance? Like, hey, I'm gonna murk myself so I can't work on anything else that could possibly save lives. Because what if I'm a scientist that's on something that can save lives? But, you know, that stuff's going on over there. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of that. But I don't know if this is going to cause issues for us down the line, too. Like after the Reparations Act, if they're like, oh, blah, 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 you pardon these guys, but not the, like, I don't know if that's going to happen is the thing. That's what I'm, like, a little afraid of here. I'm going to say scientists. Because I would like to pardon them. Because, like I said, I don't like the idea of that. Because I know a lot of you guys have probably gone through this. Ah, man. This is a hard decision. It really is. Because, like I said, I don't know if it's going to do something to, like, stop us from other things. Or what. Because I think once we finish the Reparations Act, I think we can start doing these. I think we have to defeat, though, the Legion before we can like, continue some of that. Huh. You know, we are over 2 hours. We're about 2.5 hours. We've technically finished the Reparations Act at this point, I want to say, because this is our last one. I did save it here. I'll let you guys, like, let me know if I have to fire them. Like, if it'll cause any, like, any stringent activities, or will cause any issues. Like I said, do let me know in the comments down below. If you are new here, consider liking, subscribing, and or commenting on the video. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm and just helps us grow as a whole. I still have a lot of comments to go through from you guys from the last episode. Because I get so many of them on these. Man, you guys have been loving these videos, and I've honestly been loving playing this. Even though I have made some mistakes along the way and have had to replay some areas and fix some stuff. But, you know, I do really enjoy this. I'm glad you guys are here along the way with me. Night Ops out.